Okay, so let's talk about this thing called 5-number summary. So if you're finding a 5-number summary for a set of numbers, it is a way for us to pull information out of that set of numbers so that we can use that then to later construct something called a box and whisker plot, which is a really quick visual way for us to look at information and look at data. So in this example here, they're telling us there's 13 students on algebra test. These are all the scores they got, right? So ranging from 60 to 92. It says notice the scores are ordered from least to greatest, and that's important because when you do these 5-number summaries, you need things in order so that we can start to do what we have to do. And in the 5-number summary and the interquartile range for the data set, that all includes the minimum and the maximum, so your smallest and your biggest value, your median, which is your middle value, and then you've got this thing called a lower quartile and an upper quartile. So let's hold off on the quartiles there for a second, and let's just figure out what the minimum, the maximum, and the median are. All right. Well, the minimum and the maximum are just the least and the greatest. Minimum is always your smallest. So this is going to be my minimum right here. It's going to be 60, and this is going to be my maximum right here. Now, when you find your median, you're going to do what we did before, where we're going to kind of go from the bookends and work our way in till we find either 2 middle numbers or 1 middle number. All right, so if I do that, and I'm going to use yellow so I can still see the numbers, so I'm kind of crossing them out, but not really. So actually, let's use highlighter. So there we go. So there's the first two, the next two. All right, the next pair, next pair, next pair, and then it brings you so that you do get 1 middle value. And the reason we get 1 middle value is because it's 13, right? So this number right here, the 79, and we're going to use a different color for that. Let's use red. The 79 is our median, all right? So we've got our minimum, our maximum, and our median. All right, now, that's the easy part. The tricky part is when you find your lower quartile and your upper quartile, what you want to do is you want to take the numbers to the left of the median and to the right of the median. So I'm going to take this 60, 64, 67, 67, 73, and 73, and I'm not going to include this. And this constitutes, this is the last, like the lowest 50% of the data set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the median of this. And when I find the median of this, I'm going to find something called my first quartile, my lower quartile, or Q1 as they call it in some places. So I'm going to grab that yellow highlighter again, and we're going to work our way in like this. And you see that we get down to 67 and 67, so 2 numbers. Well, what number is between 67 and 67? Well, 67, right? That's the halfway point between 67 and 67. Because if you add 67 to 67 and divide it by 2, you'll get 67. So this number here is called my lower quartile, all right? Or Q1, if you want to call it that, all right? And so that's important. So we've now found 4 out of the 5 things. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the upper set of numbers. Again, we're not going to include our median in this. All right, so we're going to start with the 82, 86, 86, 88, 89, and 92. And then we're going to X out until we get to the middle. And this one, what's the middle value between 86 and 88? Well, the middle value between 86 and 88 is 87. That's exactly halfway between 86 and 88. And so that is going to be my Q3, right? Oops, I didn't want to do that. All right, that's going to be my Q3 or my upper quartile. All right, and so we're going to write that down. So this is my upper quartile, or Q3. Okay, and so now I've got all these numbers. So let's start entering these. So we go 60 is my minimum. My lower quartile we figured out was 67. Median 79. And when you start putting these in this way, you should realize that that they should go sequentially, right? Like you're not going to have like they're going to, you notice how they go from least to greatest as we're doing this. That's how it should go if they have it organized this way. And then this last thing they're asking for, interquartile range. So the interquartile range, all right, interquartile range is simply what you get when you subtract the upper and the lower. So it's the upper minus the lower. All right, so the upper quartile is 87, and your lower quartile is 67. And so 87 minus 67 is 20. And what that means is that's the range of values from between these two medians, so to speak, right, our quartiles. And this whole 5-number summary, all this does, right, all this does is break this whole data set up into 4 sections. So you've got the lowest quartile, you've got kind of like a middle lower quartile, an upper middle quartile, and then your highest quartile. So it takes all the information and it kind of puts it into this classification that later on you're going to know as a box and whisker chart. So this would be your maximum, this would be your minimum, this is going to be your Q1, this is your Q3, and then your median goes right here. And it doesn't always line up neatly like that, but that's kind of how it works. And so that's why this is useful. So let's see how we did. And look at that. Got it right. Nicely done, guys.